If you're over 55 doing everything right, eating healthy, exercising regularly, but your belly fat is still creeping upward or just won't go away, this video is for you. It's not about your willpower or motivation. The problem is more likely in habits that look completely innocent, and your body after 55 is treating them very differently than it did at 35. For those new here, I'm Aaron Patrick, and the mission of this channel is helping people in their 50s and 60s build their health to fully enjoy the retirement they've worked toward for decades. My story is that I faced the very same problem together with lagging energy and declining metabolic health. At age 60, I turned things around while still working a busy job as a manager at a well-known employer. What helped me to do that was to take a hard look at my everyday lifestyle. Today, I discuss 5 habits concerning nighttime routine that add to your waistline. After each one, I'll give you a simple fix, so stay tuned through all 5. I used to do every one, and when I understood my body's hormones and hormonal responses, it literally empowered me to change my life. So let's get to it. Innocent habit number 1, eating dinner late. There's uncommon agreement among medical experts and YouTube influencers alike that eating a large dinner late can lead to weight gain. When you understand how the body's hormones respond to food in the evening, it becomes clear that the real story is about much more than just over-consuming calories. The first hormone to note is insulin, which the pancreas produces when we eat. Insulin's job is to shuttle the glucose flowing into the blood as we digest food to the muscle and to other cells where it can be used or stored temporarily. Now, if those cells signal that they have enough, then insulin moves the glucose to our fat cells for storage as fat. When we overconsume, or our muscles are inactive, or worse, both, the pancreas pumps out even more insulin to get the muscle cells to accept the glucose, a condition known as insulin resistance. That's an early indicator of declining metabolic health long before blood sugar numbers flash warning signs to your doctor. The point for now is that so long as insulin is circulating, your body is switched to fat storage mode. Only when insulin drops can the body start burning energy already stored as fat. So pause and think about that. Eating dinner late is commonplace, innocent, but late eating prevents the body from winding down its ability to process food and keeps it switched to fat storage mode. And most of us are eating our biggest meal right now in that window. So the fix is to finish dinner early, 3 hours before going to bed, and if you can't do that, make it a lighter meal. I try to finish dinner between 6 o'clock and 7 o'clock p.m. so that insulin can finish its job while I'm awake and digestion is well underway by the time I go to bed. Timing dinner early helps my body switch to fat burning mode during the next 14 hours until my morning meal. And I have some additional good news here. Correcting the next innocent habit provides an opportunity to flip a second switch to help prevent the accumulation of belly fat. Innocent habit number 2, expanding your waistline, is skipping movement in the evening. That is, defining relaxation in ways that keep you still. Now, I completely understand that you want to decompress at the end of the day, and the sofa is right there, beckoning. Sitting seems natural. But as with dinner, timing matters immensely for the body. Returning to the hormone insulin, its job is to remove the glucose from the blood, which is fundamental to good blood sugar regulation. And after a meal, blood sugar can spike as much as 30%. A little movement can make insulin's work to bring down that level much easier. Muscle contractions prompt the muscle cells to absorb more glucose. Without this uptick in demand, insulin is more likely to shuttle the glucose to your fat cells. Multiple studies have shown that even a 10-minute walk within an hour after dinner reduces blood glucose significantly. I cite references in the notes. What I want to emphasize here is how movement can make the difference between your body burning the energy or storing it as fat. As an aside here, when I was living and working in Tokyo for the first time years ago, I was struck by how thin people in Japan were. There are many reasons for that, but one is that their widespread use of public transport ensures they get that 10-minute walk in after dining out. And that's the fix. Take a 10-minute walk for within 30 to 60 minutes of dinner. It's your most actionable tonight habit of all. When you return from your brief walk, it'll be fine to relax on the sofa, but if you don't correct the next habit, you'll undo any progress you've made so far. We're about halfway through, and I want to make sure that you catch the habits 3 and 4 because they are the ones that surprise me the most. Let's keep going. Innocent habit number 3, mindless evening snacking. And I've got to confess that my failure to recognize the harm here kept me adding fat for years. It does not matter whether the snack you are eating is junk, something processed with a healthy label on the wrapper, or truly healthy organic fruit. I consume them all at some time. What I learned is the fact of eating anything in the evening after dinner derails optimal body function and puts one on course to store more abdominal fat and experience less restful sleep. Look, I get the desire to relax after a stressful day, maybe on the sofa with Netflix, and to munch on something at the same time. This feeling is in fact the result of another hormone, cortisol, your stress hormone. Cortisol surges in the face of immediate danger, activating your fight or flight responses. That's critically important at times. But it can also rise and stay high when you experience chronic stress. An elevated cortisol, whether from work stress or interpersonal conflict or whatever really, literally makes you crave food, particularly calorie-dense comfort food. It stimulates your appetite centers even when your energy needs have not changed. Specifically, it just blocks leptin, the hormone that signals to your body that you are satiated. And it activates ghrelin, your hunger hormone. So your brain literally craves sugar and fat after stress. And when cortisol levels are high, the body specifically focuses first on storing any excess calories as visceral fat around the midsection. Pause to think a moment about that point, whatever your age. And if you think the problem is worse after 55, you're right. As we get older, the cortisol surge from stress is higher, and it returns to normal levels at a slower pace than before. But there's even more bad news because all of this evening eating also disrupts restful sleep. In the hours before you go to sleep, your body produces the hormone melatonin to signal to the body that it's time to wind down in preparation for sleep. High blood glucose levels from food consumed late, however, impair melatonin production, and that in turn harms sleep quality. More on that in a moment. So here's the fix, and it's tough love. Designate a kitchen close time, ideally 7 p.m. Swap any evening snack for herbal tea or sparkling water. Your energy needs do not require you to consume more calories in the evening. For me, the clarity of deciding not to eat at all after dinner was helpful because it kept me from having to make any further decisions about, say, healthy snack or unhealthy snack. It was difficult at first, but as I reflected on snacking as a response to stress, I realized that I was not really enjoying the snacks that I was consuming. So after resolving to stop snacking, I trained myself to focus on how much better I felt and on the drop in visceral fat I was measuring at home and my gym if I just continued to hold the line. Now, I recognize that some of you might eat early or not snack, but still carry stubborn belly fat. Stay tuned for habits 4 and 5 because they key off of the question, what if your belly fat problem isn't a diet problem, but a sleep problem created by what you do before you go to bed? Innocent habit number 4 is poor sleep setup. By this, I'm referring to a mismatch between your evening habits and what your body needs for timely, restful sleep. There are many potential mechanisms to disrupt sleep, so I would encourage you to do an audit of your evening habits. As smartphones and computers have proliferated, we have learned that blue light from screens can powerfully suppress melatonin production. Suppressed melatonin is associated with insomnia, later onset of sleep, difficulty staying asleep, and daytime fatigue. For me, even more disruptive to my wind down was the agitation I felt from a lot of the content we view on screen. Late night work emails, the latest catastrophes in the news, a disturbing show. Any and all of it kept me wired and awake. I did not have the liberty to wake up later the next morning, however, and the fatigue I felt after poor sleep prompted me to recraft my evenings. What I did not fully appreciate until later was the connection between poor sleep and stubborn belly fat, and linking the two is the hormone cortisol. Multiple clinical studies show that disrupted sleep elevates cortisol the next day across demographics. Even in healthy young men, one study showed sleep deprivation led to cortisol levels 37 to 45% higher the next evening. And remember, elevated cortisol prompts your body to prioritize storage of energy as belly fat. The problem is not just the bad sleep, but the evening habits that set up the bad sleep. But that provides an opportunity for corrective action. The fix? Screens off 45 to 60 minutes before bed. Turn down your room temperature to 65 to 68 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm comfortable even down to 62 degrees. If you drink coffee or tea, no caffeine after 2 p.m. Caffeine has a half-life of about 5 hours, meaning it takes about that long to eliminate 50% of any you consumed earlier in the day. But you're still not in bed asleep yet. To help your body close the day, correcting the last mistake could be the most consequential of all. Here's why. Restful sleep is a critical requirement for visceral fat loss. Innocent habit number 5, no wind down routine before sleep. Especially as we get older, consistent routine becomes more important to reliably guiding the body to perform throughout the day and night. It's especially true for getting restful sleep. Too many of us jump from work emails to Netflix, maybe some personal business, and finally bed. Then we wonder why we can't sleep. Particularly if any of the evening activity was stressful, your body needs to decompress and wind down. This is especially true for working professionals who are oftentimes on call at off hours. The fix? Craft your own 15-minute wind down ritual that will signal to your body every night the time for sleep has arrived. I cut most of the lights and I read a few pages of a physical book. Others may prefer stretching, a shower, breathing exercises, or time with a partner. The specifics matter a lot less than consistency and your intent to transition. Now, I know what you're thinking. I barely have time to eat dinner. I get it. I'm still working full-time myself. But I found a sleep routine and wind down of 15 minutes before bed changed the game for me. Now, before I summarize all 5 fixes, if you're finding this content useful, please consider becoming a subscriber. I make these videos for people in exactly your situation. Over 55, still busy, trying to do this right. You're in the right place. So to wrap up, here are the 5 innocent habits with fixes to turn evening into a health opportunity. 1, late dinner. The fix, eat by 6:30 p.m. or go light. 2, skipping movement. The fix, take a 10-minute walk after dinner. 3, evening snacking. The fix, close the kitchen after, say, 7 p.m. 4, poor sleep setup. The fix, screens off 45 minutes before bed. 5, no wind down routine. The fix, craft your own 15-minute ritual for every night. None of these requires a gym. None of them costs any money, but together they change the hormonal environment your body operates in every evening after age 55. And that's the real game. As James Clear has shown in his best-selling book, Atomic Habits, even a 1% improvement per day leads to 37 times better performance after 1 year. So pick one of these to start tonight, just one. I'd start with the evening walk. It's the highest impact, lowest effort change you can make. Try it for 7 days and see what happens. And if you want to go deeper on what's actually driving belly fat after age 55 and how to lose it, please stay tuned. In next week's episode, I plan to focus on how to turn around your morning routine to burn belly fat. And linked on the screen is the video that YouTube thinks would be most interesting for you now. Let's keep going. Thank you for watching.